Welcome to the channel or the website, depending on which avenue you're watching this through. Today, we're talking about if you're an all or nothing person when dieting, why can't you keep the weight off long term? I see clients and patients every day who tell me they are all or nothing when it comes to diet. Yet the very fact that they're seeing me in clinic means they have a chronic weight problem. In fact, if they are in my NHS clinic, it means they're on their way towards bariatric surgery, so obesity surgery. This means their dieting has not worked over the long term. They may have had some success in the past with losing weight, and typically we see these fluctuations over time, but it's the long-term sustainability that is the problem. If you struggle with a weight problem and consider yourself an all or nothing kind of person, let me tell you, it's very unlikely you will ever lose weight long-term with this approach. And today I'm going to explain why that is. Let's start with the nothing aspect first. People I see in clinic have quite often tried every diet going. They lose weight, but when they stop, the weight goes back on with interest. The reason is simple. To lose weight, we need to eat less than our body requires. To gain weight, we eat more than our body requires. It's much easier to eat more calories than you need than it is to eat less calories than you need. Assume, for example, you needed 2,000 calories a day. Think how easily you could eat, for example, 4,000 calories or even more. If out to dinner or having a few drinks, you could probably do this in one meal if you were having a particularly fatty meal or high calorie meal like a curry, for example. Now that is 2,000 more calories if having 4,000 more than your body requires, probably in one go. Now try to eat 2,000 calories below your requirement. And remember, your body only needs 2,000 calories in this example. So you wouldn't be able to eat anything that day, which obviously isn't sustainable. So in order to lose weight, you have to create a calorie deficit over a number of different days. The problem is, it only takes one day of mass overeating to undo days of undereating. With overeating, literally the sky is the limit for the number of calories you could consume. Keep that in mind, because when we have our all or nothing person and they're on a nothing phase, the floodgates open. They will eat and drink what they want, when they want. They may have just spent 6 months eating less than they require, possibly through some form of diet, and actually seen some steady weight loss along the way. However, when they start to overeat, they can match the calories they underate by over that whole 6-month period much quicker than when dieting. So what happens? They overeat and the weight goes back on with interest until they think it's time for another diet and they enter their all phase. Now, let's look at the all aspect. When a person is in this phase, they are mostly adherent to their diet and they generally start to see some success. Sound familiar? But the very nature of being all in on a diet means you have conditioned your mind to accept this as short term. It is a phase you have entered to lose weight. No doubt you will have an idea of how much weight you want to lose, and once you hit this, it's job done. Naturally you will relax. It's the conditioning of your mind. Alternatively, you get bored following the program and so you completely give up. Or you don't see enough weight loss one week and think, what's the point? And I'll be doing another video on this at a later date. Or finally, it's because you've committed yourself to a particular program and therefore any deviation from this feels like failure. Therefore, you get fatigued following the same principles and crave something new. The problem is, following diets, they don't give you that flexibility because they need you to keep paying for their system. This leaves us with this concept of diet. You are either on a diet or you're off it, all or nothing. Again, this psychology conditions your brain to accept that a diet is short term. Patients often tell me they're too busy or too stressed to diet at the moment, as in it's something they are either on or off. Can you see how this thinking has conditioned them to see dieting as a thing you only do to lose weight? The word diet is toxic. To be successful long term, you cannot be on or off something. You need to build daily habitual behavior which is not on or off anything. It is your lifestyle, your daily habit, your routine, your anchor. Once you have achieved this, it no longer matters if you are busy, stressed, or anything else. Your dietary behavior is ingrained so that whatever comes up, this remains the same. For example, you don't hear people say, and I particularly don't hear people say in my clinics, they are too busy to watch TV, brush their teeth, feed the dog, call a friend, or even go out for a night out. This is because these are ingrained behaviors and these are their current priorities, whatever they might be. There is no reason, if you are stressed or busy, you still can't prepare food in advance and avoid eating on the run. Just as an example, it is your perception of this task either being or not being a priority, depending if you are in a all or nothing phase. If I asked you to keep an activity diary of a week, could you honestly tell me there is physically no time to do any of this in a typical week? So what can you do about it? You need to come away from thinking about weight loss only being achieved through a diet. It is a negative thought process. You need to lose weight is a negative thought process. Instead, think about several behaviors you can focus on to ingrain into your lifestyle. Focus on eating breakfast, preparing food in advance, learning food labeling guidelines, getting your 5 a day, hitting a certain amount of steps, whatever it might be. This is what you need to do. You have now shifted your focus from a negative thought process on a diet and can't eat these things to a positive outlook focusing on things you can and will do. Therefore, weight loss is no longer your focus, but instead it is the consequence of your behavior and habit formation, which is now your new primary focus. If you then find yourself returning to old behaviors, you can re-engage with this process and get back to the basics, focusing on positive habit formation. In time, this will become a daily routine. It is flexible as you're in control of it. It doesn't require sticking to a specific plan, so you should not psychologically fatigue with it. It allows for relaxed meals or days because you know you can return to your daily goals as soon as possible. As I said, it is an anchor, ready for you when you need it. I therefore urge you to do this. If you consider yourself an all or nothing person, set some things you want to work towards and start doing it. Do not make one of those goals weight loss. It needs to be a behavior. Weight loss is not a behavior, it's an outcome. Set goals to achieve an outcome. It's like saying, I want to get better at golf. How are you going to do it? That's where the focus should be. Detail the steps necessary, and this keeps the focus positive, but also productive. It's like putting in a step-by-step guide. Move on to the next step when you are ready, and that's it. I hope this video is useful, guys. If so, make sure you hit the subscribe button to the channel, as we'll have plenty more coming up that will be on similar topics. My primary focus is weight loss, so if you have an interest in that or have struggled in the past with your weight, make sure you engage with the materials. And if you have any questions, please get in touch using the outlets outlined below, or check out the website, which is markgreennutrition.co.uk. See you next time.